Hey there, 8th grade. Today we're talking about writing and graphing inequalities. So get that title, name and date, and we'll get to it. Just a little review. Our inequality signs are the less than symbol, the greater than symbol, less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to. This little bar below makes it the possibility of being equal to. The less than symbol kind of looks like an L. So if you were going to write that, if I'm trying to show you what I mean, it kind of looks like if you just did a really sloppy L. It got a little slanted. It kind of looks like an L. Another way to know the difference between the less than and the greater than symbol is to just fill them in with an example. So one you could do is you could do 1 is greater than 0. And you would say, well, we read from left to right, and you know that 1 is greater than. So 1, and then you know this is the greater than symbol. 1 is greater than 0. Next few notes are about graphing. When graphing, what are we doing? Why do we graph inequalities? We don't graph equations. What are we doing? We're shading all the possible solutions. So why isn't it useful to graph the solutions to equations? Because there's only one. And I can just tell you if the answer is m. If m is the variable we're looking for, I can just tell you m might be 5, and that's the solution. But for inequalities, there are usually infinite solutions or no solutions. So we graph them to show you all the possible solutions. How do we graph them? We plot the point we're comparing our variable to. Then we fill in the circle if it could be equal, if our variable could be equal to that focus point, and then we shade the appropriate side. Less than is to the left, and that should be familiar with us all. Let's go on and do some examples. So we're looking at this and we say the first one says j is less than negative 13. So we said if we're going to plot this, then our first step is to place our reference point. And in this case, we're talking about negative 13. Now we also want one number less and one number more. I'm going to ask you to do this as well. So what's one number to the left? And this is our way of checking. One number less. And this is the part that will confuse some people, is that we're on the negative side of the number line, so the number looks bigger, 14 looks bigger, but it's to the left. That's because it's more negative. So we should know that negative 14 is actually less than negative 13. It's more negative, further from 0, further to the left. The second step, so we're going to fill in the circle if it's equal to. It couldn't be equal to, so j cannot be equal to 13 because negative 13, if we replaced it for j, negative 13 is not less than 13, it's equal to. And then we're going to say j is all values that are less than, because it's on the less than side. It's on the smaller side, the pinched side. So that would be the less than. So we're going to shade to the left. We'll shade all the possible solutions. So what we're saying is that the entire number line, every number that comes onto the number line to the left of negative 13, those could all be values of j. If we plug in any of those values for j, it would be true. So for example, negative 14 is shaded. If we put in negative 14, it would be true. We're all good. Number 2 says 2 and 45 hundredths is less than or equal to m. So again, we're going to plot our reference point and then actually the two that are right next to it. And in this case, you could say 2 and 45 hundredths. Well, one less than that would be 1 and 45 hundredths. Or you could do 2 and 44 hundredths. That would be a good way to do it. But you have a couple options here, so you don't have to just subtract 1. You can kind of just show what are some numbers to the left and to the right. Most people would probably do 2 and 44 hundredths and 2 and 46 hundredths in this case, though. And we're going to say we're going to fill in the circle if it could be equal to. So 2 and 45 hundredths, if m is 245 hundredths, this is true. 245 hundredths could be equal to 2 and 45 hundredths. Now the important part here is we have to see that the variable is on the opposite side now. So even though this is the less than symbol, what could I put in for m? Well, m is on the greater than side. So it's the less than or equal to symbol. I guess I misspoke a second ago. But m has to be greater than, it's getting eaten, it's on the big side. M has to be greater than or equal to. So we're going to shade the right side this time. And that's an important thing to realize, is that when the variables comes after the symbol, we need to kind of switch our thinking. Some people will they'll rewrite that so they can read it the appropriate way. They'll say, okay, well I know that m is getting eaten, so that's the way a lot of people learn it. So m is greater than or equal to 2 and 4,500. So that's on the right side. The last one, and this is some word problems, we need to be able to convert these into inequalities. So the temperature is at least -5 degrees Celsius today. So at least is going to be our key word here. And so we know that no matter what that means, we're focused on -5 degrees Celsius. And I can still fill in -6 degrees to the left, because again, we're on the negative side of the number line, so things are kind of switched. But we're going to say the temperature is at least -5. So now I have to think about, where do I hear that phrase at least, and what do I think it means? Well, if someone says, to get on this ride, you must be at least 64 inches. It means you could be 64 inches, so we know that it's going to be either less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. But we know at least 64 inches, okay, people taller than that, people bigger than that, greater than that, or to the right can also ride. So we'll say that all values, and I forgot to put my variable up here, these are all the values m could be, all values for the temperature to the right are greater than or equal to -5 would make this true. As always, I'm going to leave you with a couple examples to do on your own. So why don't you check them out. The first one says j is greater than or equal to -336. Number 2 says we ate no more than 12.5, 12 and 5/10, 12.5 pounds of turkey. So write those two, plot them. Notice that I put this one in red because I expect you to write this down for me. So please write the full sentence and then show me what it turns into. It'll make it easier for me to check it. Best of luck. You guys got it. I'll see you later.